And it's great to have you here in our Option Alpha Quick Start session. Many of you attended the session live and got this follow-up email. Just know this is not going to be the exact same session, but it's going to cover all the same content for you. Those of you that had registered for the session and weren't able to make it, again, this is not the exact same session, but it will cover everything for you. Hopefully most of you are in a trial at this point. Some of you that signed up, maybe you're already members and you just needed help getting started. Some of you maybe just found us on the internet and you're not yet even in a trial. You just want to understand what this is all about. If you fall into that category, just know that many of the things I'm going to show you today, you may not yet have access to because they are specifically for people in trials. So let's just take a quick look at who we are, what we do. There are thousands and thousands of traders around the world that are part of our family, and our family's been around for about 14 years is when Option Alpha started, and it started mainly around educational content, and we'll touch on that here in a minute. But we've since expanded into bots and being able to automate trading methods and trading plans for people. And the bot platform really just launched this year, early this year, but we've already traded over 1.5 million live contracts. So this is not paper, these are live trades going through. So the platform is being used heavily by our traders and is growing very, very rapidly. This is our Trader Success Support team. Mike, our Director of Success, in the upper left. This is myself in the upper right, and the rest of our team. Know that our team is composed of people that have traded for many, many years. Myself, I've traded over 30 years. I have traded everything from stock and options to futures, to options on futures, to commodities, to indexes. You name it, I've pretty much traded it. And that the same can be said for many, many members of our team. So just know that anytime you need support and you reach out to us, team@optionalpha.com, we are people that understand trading. We understand the process that you're going through, excuse me, in your trading journey, and we're here to help you out. What are we going to cover in today's session? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about our training content. Now, the training content side is actually where Option Alpha started, and actually where myself and my wife found Option Alpha back in around 2015. I became a member as I was wanting to learn more about options trading, and Kirk has an extensive amount of fabulous content that we're going to look at here in a minute. And know that content is all free. You do not need to be a member to have that content at all. And also know that, there's no commitment here today. We're not trying to sell you anything. Our goal is to just let you have a detailed look at our platform, what it can do, and how you can get started. So there isn't going to be a, Ginsu knives thing at the end of this where, oh, if you pay this amount, you'll get this too. That's not what we're about here. So we're going to talk about the training content. We're going to talk about the cloning of a bot. I want all of you, as part of your trial, you have the ability to clone up to 10 bots. I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'm going to suggest a few that you clone and give you reasons why I'm suggesting them. We're going to get into the anatomy of a bot. Once you do clone a bot, how do you look at that bot and how do you determine what it's doing, how it's doing it, and how do you make a change to it if you want to change something? Then we're also going to provide, or as you probably saw in your email, a whole series of links to things that will take you a little bit deeper than what I'm going to cover here today. So that's going to be our general guideline for what we're going to address here today. But the first thing I want to kind of hit on is that, as I mentioned previously, Option Alpha has basically had two sides to it. Well, they didn't used to have two sides. It was only one side. It was all education. Education about trading and options. And then in more recent times, about a year ago, we started with bots. And bots is a way to take all of this education and the trading methodologies and trading plans that people develop around this educational content and a way to automate the trading process. So we're going to look at these two different sides today, kind of how they work together and what they mean. And I sincerely, sincerely thank you for taking the time today to take this little journey with us. We very much appreciate your time. We respect the fact that you're taking this time to spend with us. So let's get into the bot platform itself. And I might suggest that you go ahead, if you're at your computer, and fire up your platform. If you're on your trial, open up a window and kind of follow along with me. So when you first open your platform, the headers here are going to be the same, but it's going to look a little different down here. These are bots that I currently have running in my account. You will not have these specific bots most likely. In fact, you may have no bots here if you haven't cloned any yet. Now, we're going to get more heavily into that in a minute, but before we do, I want to take a look at the educational content we talked about. So when you're on this home page, you see this question mark right up here, Help and Resources. If you click on that question mark, it's going to take you to a page like this, and I want you specifically to look over here where it says Education and then Courses. Click on Courses, go to Overview, and you will see there's an entire library here of content that will walk you through options education. There's 14 different video recorded lessons, over 5 hours of content here, just on a beginner track of trading and options trading specifically in this case. Then there's an intermediate track, an advanced track. And then if you want to dig deeper into any specific aspects of options trading, you can come into options expiration, for example. Let's say you've heard the term options expiration or maybe assignment and you want to know more about that. Well, there's 10 lessons here about options expiration. What does that mean? Then maybe you want to look at strategies or different trading plans that might surround options or stock, but mainly options in this case. Maybe you want to look at bullish strategies, neutral strategies, bearish strategies. All of that content is here. Again, an immense amount of content. All of this is free. You do not need to be a member. If you have family members, friends, etc. that are interested in potentially exploring trading and options trading, I would highly recommend that you send them here to these courses so that they can kind of get up to speed on all of the different aspects of options trading. I know for me personally, the thing that drew me to options is how infinitely flexible they are. For example, I might not be able to buy 100 shares of Amazon stock. Well, maybe I will after it splits, but 100 shares of Amazon stock when it's trading at $2,500. But there are ways that I can use options to essentially take that same type of position in Amazon with much, much less investment. There's also ways that if I have long-term stock in my account, I have strategies where I can sell things, sell calls in this case, against those long-term positions that essentially lower my cost basis. There's just so many different things you can do with options that I would highly recommend that you dig into the courses. Now I'm going to show you one other thing too, strategies. Here are a whole bunch of different common terms and strategies you might hear about options. Long calls, long puts, leaps, long straddles. One of the ones we're going to take a look at here today, and one of the kind of common ones that people trade, is something called an iron condor. If we click on an iron condor here, this is all of the detail surrounding an iron condor. What does that mean? What does the payoff diagram look like? In other words, how do I make money if I'm trading an iron condor? How do I enter an iron condor? Now, I can even get a free guide on specifically trading iron condors. Just sign up here and you can download your free strategy guide specifically for iron condors. So again, all of this content, no charge whatsoever, and a massive amount of information here to help you understand all of these different strategies. And keep in mind that many of these different strategies are now written into bots. So we're going to take a look specifically at an iron condor bot a little later in this session. But again, all of this is free. I want you to be able to know exactly how to access all of that content. So now that we've discussed a little bit about the educational side, I want to get specifically into the cloning of a bot. In the email that was sent to you, there is specifically a link to clone a very, very basic bot called the demo session bot. I want you to click on that link, and it's going to open a page like this. And when you open this page, so this is a bot, a trading plan, a trading method that I specifically wrote for you to fire up in your account so that you can see what it is a bot is doing once the markets light back up again. I'm recording this on a Saturday morning, so once the markets light back up on Monday, if you have this bot in your account, it's going to start making paper trades. Now, note right here, there's no strategy really with this bot. This is simply to open and close positions and help you understand how a bot works. So once you've opened that link from the email, you're going to be on this page. I'm going to show you how simple it is to clone a bot. And then after that, I'm going to show you where you can go and find a whole bunch of different bots that you might consider cloning. So right now, we want to clone this bot. All you have to do is hit the button that says clone. Now, you've got a lot of things you can do here. You can change the name of it. You can change the icon that's associated with it. You can put a tag on it. You don't need to worry about that right now. I'm going to show you what that means in a little bit. It's automatically going to go into your paper trading account. Perfectly fine. Just let it go there. This is going to be paper trading. This is not going to be live trading. You can set an allocation amount. Now, I'm going to tell you that anytime you clone a bot, I would urge you to set it for a $10,000 allocation. Again, this is paper trading. It has no impact in live trading whatsoever, but I urge you to always set your bots to the same amount. I happen to use $10,000 because some of the bots are written in a way that they take maybe a larger position size, and $1,000 might not allow it to open a position. But almost every bot I've seen, a $10,000 allocation will allow it to open up a position. So we want to specifically let these bots open positions, see how they trade. Again, this is all in paper. So all I had to do, again, was click that button at the top that says clone. Then I'm going to come down here, click clone, and then I click view bot. And it's going to show me that bot, which is now in my account. And I just need to turn it on. That's it, nothing more. You have now cloned a bot, and it's going to start running when the markets open up on Monday. So now that we've cloned that bot, let's take a look at that bot in our account. So we come back to bots, and I'm going to have one here that I actually put in my account a couple of days ago so that I can show you what the bot is doing. So this is the bot. It's called Demo Session Bot. Okay, this should show up in your account now. And we're going to look at the anatomy of a bot right now. So if we click on that bot, the first page it takes you to is one called the dashboard. So this dashboard shows the bot's allocation. Remember, we gave it a $10,000 allocation. This particular bot has already made some trades because I cloned this yesterday on Friday for one of our sessions, and it had made some trades. It's up $34. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So now the net liquidity of this bot is $10,034, our original $10,000, and the bot has made $34. It's got a 100% win rate. Now, it's only made 2 trades, so that doesn't mean a great deal yet. So, and then we can also look at the available capital, the maintenance requirement, profit factor, max drawdown, etc. All of these are things, if you're not sure what they are, come up to our question mark and you can go look up any of these terms and get a detailed analysis of those. Now, you'll see right here, there's normally a chart. Well, there's not enough data here yet to create a chart. We have to have a number of open and closed positions before we can start plotting a chart. We need at least 3 decision points. We only have 2 trades so far. I'm going to show you a bot in a moment that will have a lot of data here as well. This particular bot won't, and yours won't, okay? So after your bot trades for a little bit, you can come into positions. This is going to show every closed position in your bot. So these are positions that were opened and they were closed. If I want to see more details on any of these, I can simply click on it and it will show me that yesterday this bot opened this position. And if I click here, it'll give me even more detail. So yesterday morning at 11:30, this bot opened up this particular, in this case, it's a short call spread. Now, when you're selling premium or when you're selling something, you want to get as much money for it as you possibly can. Now, the bots have something called smart pricing. It's a patented process of option alphas, and something that there's a link in the email that came to you that will give you a lot more detail on this. But just suffice it to say that the bots go out and try to shop for the best price anytime they're entering a position or exiting a position. And in this particular case, we can see our bid-ask spread was $1.85 to $1.83. So as traders, when we're selling this, we want to try to get as much money as we possibly can. Well, you're hardly ever going to get the most. So this bot is set to try to get the second best price it can possibly get. And then after a period of time, if it doesn't get a fill, it will cancel that order, lower the price a little bit, and then maybe cancel it and enter it again until it does get its fill. So this is a really great tool. Right here with this tight of a bid-ask spread, it's probably not a huge factor, but if you're trading something that's less liquid, that has a wider bid-ask spread, this can make a big difference over time, particularly when you're looking at both the entries and the exits getting better prices through smart pricing. And again, the link in the email will give you a lot more detail on that. So we can look at our closed positions there at any time. And then how did we get into these positions? So that's probably the next piece of this puzzle, is what is the rule set that this particular demo session bot is using? Well, in our rule sets, or the brains of the bot, those are automations. You have two different types of automations. You have a scanner automation, which is looking to get you into a trade. Most traders have a set criteria or maybe a rule set that they use to enter a specific trade. For me personally, I always like to make sure that there's a certain amount of liquidity. I also want to make sure that there's a certain amount of premium, or what we might call juice, in a trade. I want to make sure that, again, if I'm going to take this trade, that there's basically, it's worth my while. There's enough potential money that I can gain in that trade before I take it. So different traders have different rule sets, and those rule sets are going to change depending on the type of position that you're entering as well. That takes us back to the whole education piece, and maybe getting that report on iron condors or something along those lines, so that you understand what most traders tend to look for. But scanners are what we're going to use to get us into a trade. Then a monitor is what we're going to use to monitor that trade after we're in it and look for the conditions that we want to exit under. And those conditions are usually going to be things like maybe a specific profit target, or maybe a certain amount of loss, or the position being pressured in a certain way that you're saying, you know what, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. Maybe it's you're getting close to expiration and you don't want to run the risk of assignment. There are hundreds and hundreds of different ways we can enter and exit trades. And then we have something called events. Now, an event is just simply one of these that runs on a specific time frame. We're going to look at that here in a little bit as well. But let's just look at the details of our scanner in this particular case. Let's look at what decisions we've asked this bot to make before it enters a trade. Well, this is a very simple bot. Again, I wanted it to open trades and close trades for you. So the first thing it does is I'm looking to see, I'm trading SPY, I'm looking to see is the SPY IV rank above 20. Now, IV rank is a measure of volatility or of fear in the markets. When fear is a little bit higher in the markets, options premium tends to go up. So we can maybe get a little more money when we're selling options when the volatility is higher. So I want to make sure volatility is above 20 in this case. No magic to that number, just a number I put in there. You might have a totally different opinion on a number, or you may not even want to use IV rank as a method for entering. That's totally up to you and how you write your bots or what bots you choose to clone. But right now I'm looking to see is the IV rank above 20? If the answer is no, bot's not going to do anything. I don't want to get in a trade then because I don't feel like I'm getting enough premium. If the IV rank is above 20, then we're going to look at the next step. In this particular case, I'm looking to see, is our market in an uptrend or a downtrend? Now, this is just one way that traders define uptrends and downtrends. In this particular case, I'm looking to see, is the 50-day simple moving average higher than the 200-day simple moving average? This is a common way that traders tend to define uptrends and downtrends. Again, there are many, many, many ways I can do this as a bot builder. I could just as easily have in, is the price of SPY today higher than it was 5 days ago and higher than it was 10 days ago? And if the answer is yes, we're in an uptrend. Another way of doing it. Again, there are probably hundreds of ways that you could potentially define this. This is the way that I chose to define it. So is SPY 50-day moving average above the 200-day moving average? If the answer is yes, that means we're in an uptrend, and then I'm okay trading with that trend, in this case, and opening a short put spread, which means I'll make money if the market stays flat or continues higher. If the answer to that is no, I want to open up a short call spread because that means we're probably in a downtrend and I want to trade with the trend in this particular case or this particular method. So I'm going to open a short call spread. So it's a very, very simple entry scanner. Now, if I want to see what this looks like, I can click Run Test, start my test, and it will show me exactly what the bot is going to do. Is SPY IV rank above 20? Yes, it is. Is SPY 50-day simple moving average above the 200-day moving average? No, it is not. So what are we going to do in that scenario? We are going to open a short call spread. So that's what this bot will do next time it runs. This is just a simple way to test what my methodology is here to see where it, excuse me, to see how this would play out once I turn it live. So that's the opener or the scanner that's going to run in this bot. Then the monitor. So what is our monitor going to look for in this bot? Well, our monitor is going to look at every position that we have open, and all I'm looking for here is our profit and loss greater than $10? That's simple. Again, I want this particular bot to open and close a number of paper positions for you so that you can see exactly what's happening. Most monitors are going to be much more elaborate than this. And again, this is not really a strategy. This is simply something that will open and close positions so you can see and understand what's happening. So how do you then know that the bot's doing what you have asked it to do here? Well, that's what the log is for. The log basically goes in and runs every 15 minutes, or the bot runs every 15 minutes, and it logs every decision it makes. Now, I built this bot yesterday. If we look at the first time that this bot ran yesterday, it ran down this series of tests, and it opened a short call spread for us. That's what the scanner did, okay? And we can come look at our position history, and we can see that's the position right there that got opened. And then right after that, shortly after that, that same position got closed. So again, we can come back, we can look at our log, the scanner opened the position based on those criteria, and then 15 minutes later, when the bot ran, the monitor ran to look to see, have we achieved our profit objective in that position? No, we haven't. We were actually down $17 at the time that that bot ran. Well, 15 minutes later, or excuse me, at that same time, our scanner ran again. Now, we did not limit our scanner to how many positions it can open, so it actually opened a second position at that time. Now, there are many ways, and most bots are written to only allow the bot to open a certain number of positions, and that's totally controllable by you or the bot builder. But this one, I did not limit that because I was fine with it opening additional positions for demo purposes. So we opened a second position at that time, and then as we just go down this, let's just go to our monitor here again, and we can see that this time our P&L was greater than 10. We had a $22 profit in that trade on that bot run, so it closed the position. So again, that is the very simple anatomy of a bot. Our dashboard gives us the big picture look. It takes into account all of our closed and current open positions. The Positions tab will show all of our historical closed positions and any open positions we have. The automations are the brains of the bot and basically tell the bot what it's going to be doing every 15 minutes. Excuse me. And our log is a way to check in on the bot and make sure that it is in fact doing what we want it to do, and also to help you study and understand, might there be things that you'd want to change or parameters that you might want to change in your bot over time. So that's kind of the anatomy of a bot. Now I'm going to show you a more detailed bot now. We're going to get into one that I've had running for a longer period of time and kind of want to walk through that same layout with you. Let's take a look at this bot. This bot is a bot that trades iron condors, IC, you'll see there. This trades 10-day to expiration iron condors in the indexes, or actually it's the ETFs. I probably should name that a little better. But anyhow, this is this bot's dashboard. Now this bot was one of the very first bots I ever wrote when I joined the Option Alpha team back in November of 2020. So again, very simple bot. I wrote this, I turned it on in paper trading, and this is its trading history in paper since that time. So this bot's actually performed pretty darn well when you consider it's the first bot I've ever written. So this bot, I gave it an allocation of $15,000. The current value of this bot is almost $30,000. So this bot has generated $14,000, almost $15,000 in profit, almost 100% return over this period of time. It's had an 81% win rate, 119 wins, 27 losses. The available capital in this bot now has grown with my starting capital plus all my profits that have taken place in the meantime. But I have two positions open, so it takes that value out of what's available because I'm using some money for those two available positions. And again, if you're not sure what any of this means, go to your question mark and look it up. So this is what the dashboard's going to look like after your bot has run for a while. It'll give you some history as to exactly how the bot's trading and how it's working. If we look at our positions, these are all the positions that the bot has closed over time. These are the two positions that are currently open in this bot. And again, the same thing. I can click on these and I can see all of the detail anywhere along the way. I can see that the bot opened this position on TLT 4 days ago, and it went through the smart pricing steps that we talked about previously. It tried $1.19, couldn't get opened at $1.19, so it tried $1.14. Well, when it tried $1.14, we actually got filled at $1.17. So we got some price improvement there. That's always great to see in a trade. So, and then we can see that a few days later, yesterday, in this case Friday, at 7:15 a.m., this position closed. It went through the same process, trying to get us the best possible price, marching through those different prices as it went. So that's how we look at the Positions tab. Let's look at the automation. So this automation is going to be a little bit different. First thing you'll notice is when we come to scanners, well, gee, there's no automation in the scanner. If there's no automation in the scanner, how is it opening these positions? Well, remember the thing events, okay? So I can create any scanner into an event. So what I've done here, again, this particular bot trades iron condors, and it trades it in 5 different ETFs: SPY, IWM, TLT, DIA, QQQ. So no real rhyme or reason behind those other than they're all highly liquid. They're correlated to some extent, but they're not real highly correlated. So I'm getting a little level of diversity by trading that basket. Because they're ETFs, they don't have any earnings, so I don't have to worry about earnings reports and trading around weird things like that. But what I've also done as an additional level of diversification is I've set these up to open on different days of the week. Remember, events is when we set something up to happen at a specific day or time. So in this particular case, what I've done is every Friday, I've set this thing up at 9:45 Eastern time when the market opens. I've set this thing up so it opens a position, an iron condor in the Qs. Every Monday, it's going to open one in IWM. On Tuesday, it's going to do TLT. On Wednesday, it's going to do SPY. On Thursday, it's going to do DIA. So there's no, again, rhyme or reason to why one of these is done on one day versus another. The goal here was I just wanted to space them out. I didn't want this bot opening a bunch of positions on the same day. I wanted them kind of scattered. So in addition to my criteria of the time of day, what other criteria am I looking at? What's the other piece of this automation that's going to cause my bot to open a position? Well, if I click on that, again, very, very simple bot. Is the VIX above 15 and is it below 40? Remember, the VIX is a volatility index. So in the prior example, I showed you 20. This one's using 15. Again, no real rhyme or reason to that other than I want to make sure that there's enough volatility that I'm going to get a decent price when I sell this iron condor. But I don't want the volatility to be so high that the market might be off the rails at the time that I do this. Now, in early 2022, up until mid-year, we had some really volatile moves in our market. We sold off over 20% in a number of the indexes. Even during that entire sell-off, we did not exceed a VIX of 40, okay? So it was a relatively measured sell-off. Excuse me. And so, VIX never got above 40, but at certain times it will get above 40. When that happens, I've just made the determination I'd rather not trade, so this bot is not going to trade. So this simply looks for that condition. Is the VIX above 15 and below 40? If the answer is yes, it's going to open an iron condor. What is that iron condor going to look like? Well, if I click on this, it's doing it in the SPY in this particular case. It's doing it 10 days to expiration. And again, you as the trader or the bot builder or the bot cloner can change any of this that you want simply by clicking here and selecting what you want, okay? It's opening the short calls at 30 delta and it's doing the long calls $5 above that. It's doing the short put at 30 delta, the long put at $5 below, okay? So this is what's commonly referred to as a $5 wing iron condor. How much money am I going to put into this position? Well, I've chosen $2,500. Now, there's a lot of different ways I can define that. I can define it by a set number of contracts. I can define it by a maximum risk, which is what I've done here. I'm willing to risk $2,500 in that trade. I will let the bot decide how many iron condors that's going to be based on the credit I can get and the risk in the iron condor. Maybe I get 5, maybe I get 6. I don't know. The bot's going to make that decision for me. Or here's one that's really cool. I can tell it to open based on a specific percent of the bot's overall, and check this out. So let's just say I want to use 20%. I could use 20% of the bot's allocation, and remember we allocated at the start $15,000 to this specific bot. Or I could do net liquidity. Now remember, this bot has grown in size. It's almost doubled its value from $15,000 to $30,000. If I choose this option, as that bot is more successful and gains in value, it's going to automatically recompute and size up. Likewise, it's going to shrink or trade less if it goes through a drawdown. So the way I like to personally progress my bots is obviously I start in paper trading, which is what this bot's been doing for quite some time. When I do choose to take this bot live, I start it with just trading one contract, just one iron condor. Then after it trades live for a period of time and I'm comfortable that everything's working the way I want it to work, then I will actually size it to a size that I'm comfortable with. And maybe I'll use that option of letting it grow as the bot grows or not. Again, that's kind of a personal decision that people need to make at that point. But that's, again, the automation process that we're going through to enter our trades. Now let's look at our monitor. What are we using to exit the trade? Well, the bot's going to look at every single iron condor that's open. It's going to say, does the position expire in less than 1 day? If it does expire in less than 1 day, I just want to close the position. I don't really want to get assigned. I don't want to take this position into expiration. If it does not expire in less than a day, it's going to come down the no path. The next thing it's going to look at is, has our position premium decreased by 25% since this position was opened? Now, remember, an iron condor, I'm selling this iron condor. I'm taking in a certain amount of premium. So let's just say that I sell this iron condor for $4. I make my money when I can buy that thing back and close that trade out for less money. So if I sell it for $4 and I want to make 25%, the bot's now looking, can you buy this back for $3? Okay? So every 15 minutes, the bot goes out and looks. Can Steve buy back his iron condor for $3 now? Nope. It's just going to sit there next 15 minutes. What about now? Can I buy that iron condor back for $3? And when it gets that yes answer, it's going to close the position. Now, it may not get that yes answer. It may continue to be no, and if it continues to be no, at some point we're going to come down this chain and it's going to say, well, gee, that thing expires in less than a day, and it's going to go ahead and close it. Now again, I can add, and many people have added, a lot more detail to these routines. They can look for certain levels of profit, a certain number of days in. Maybe you're the type of trader that you say, you know what, if I end up with a 10% profit in the first 2 days, I'm just closing the position. And then if I don't end up with 10% in the first 2 days, well then maybe in the next 5 days, I want to shoot for 20%. And so there is so much you can do with these bots and with automations, and you will see that as you start cloning different bots. So again, I just wanted to show you a slightly more complex and elaborate bot. And again, we can look through our logs, and if you'll remember yesterday, Friday, 6:45 in the morning, what did our bot do? Well, it did what it's supposed to do at 6, and again, I'm in California, so this is 6:45 Pacific time. It did what it's supposed to do. It looked to see where the VIX was at. It looked to see, do I already have a position in the queues? I've got my bot set that it will not open a second position if I already have a first position open. But the position in the queues that opened a week ago on Friday has already closed, and it had to have closed at a profit, otherwise it wouldn't have closed. So I hit my profit on that. And of course I can go through my log here and see all of that, or I can go through to my positions and see that. But the key is here I don't currently have a position open in the queue, so it authorizes the bot to open a new one, and that's exactly what the bot did. So again, the key to the logs is I can come into my logs here and I can look at any time to see exactly what the bot is doing every step of the way. So that kind of wraps up the anatomy of a bot. The final step I want to take here is showing you how to clone a bot. I should say the final step in bots that I want to take is showing you how to clone a bot. So to do that, I want you to go to Community, and you'll see in our community here at the top is just the latest discussions. These are just the latest chats going back and forth in the community on all sorts of different subjects. Again, thousands and thousands of traders in our community, a lot of great people willing to help, share ideas, etc. So if you have a question about a concept or an idea, drop it into the community. Just simply click Community here, create a post, ask whatever questions you might have. So if you're not looking to chat in the community right now, you're looking to find bots, go to Template Exchange. Same thing here. These are ones that have the most recent comments or they've recently been talked about back and forth in the community. But if we click this top line of Template Exchange, this is going to show you the thousands of templates that different traders have built and shared in our community. Okay. Now, Keep in mind, these bots are built by anybody. Some of these are very gifted traders. Some of these are people that are newer. They're just trying to figure out the whole bot thing. They're testing different concepts and ideas. But again, you can see all of the different comments here from different traders. And you can also look at the bots in a number of different ways. We can say, well, what are the newest bots that people have shared? This is going to be the absolute newest ones that people have thrown out there. Which bots have the most upvotes? Okay, so if somebody's upvoted a bot, that probably means that they've taken a detailed look at it. Maybe they've cloned it themselves and are running it. Maybe they just liked the concept of the bot. There was something about that bot that appealed to them and they gave it an upvote. We can look at the last activity, which is what you saw when you clicked on community. We can look at the bots that have the most clones. Now, I will tell you that the most clones isn't necessarily indicative of it being the, having the most upvotes or anything like that. And the reason is that some bots have been out there for longer than others. Like this Falcon 10 bot has been out there for probably, 6, 7, 8 months now. Iron Paycheck bot, which also has a lot of clones, has only been out there, 3 months, something along those lines. So again, the number of clones isn't necessarily indicative of the popularity of the bot. But let's take a look at a bot now. Now that you see that there's a lot of different bots here, and maybe you're going to sort them off of upvotes, and you want to start taking a look at these. I'm going to look at this one specifically because I have a little familiarity with it. If I click on the headline here, here's a detailed description of this bot. Now this member, this trader, RDT, who's one of our pro members, wrote this bot, and this is the, I guess you could say, the owner's manual or the documentation that he's sharing with this bot. So he put in a very detailed description that talks about how he has traded this concept, this Iron Condor. He's traded this thing manually before he ever had a bot, and he had to go in and enter the trades manually, etc. He has a good track record trading this method. He's done some back tests that back up and show you his method and how it has back tested over time. He's showing you a whole series of actual trades that the bot has made, a whole bunch of research reports that back up what his concept, his trading plan is here, the paper trades that this bot has made. So again, a massive amount of information about this bot. And then you can also see there's a lot of different versions of this bot. So this is perhaps one of the coolest aspects of Option Alpha, is that we're a great community of people wanting to share and group think on concepts and ideas. So RDT originally shared this bot, version 1, back on February 27th. You can see that we are now up to version 18, okay? So how did that happen? Well, when RDT first shared this bot, a lot of traders looked at it, cloned it, etc., and they started making comments back and forth here about, hey, I love the way you did this, but what if we did that instead? Or what if we tried a different wing width? Or what if we tried a different target or a different stop loss? Or some sort of different aspect to this trading plan. So over time, that bot has evolved to where we're now, again, on version 18. Maybe 6 months from now, we might be on version 30 or something along those lines. And again, the key aspect to this is a bunch of great minds have gotten together and fine-tuned and honed this thing over time. Again, if this is a bot you want, simply hit the clone button and it will drop into your account. Now, I want you to see something here, and I don't want your heads to explode, but I want you to see how much more complex a bot can be. Again, we're going to do the same thing. Let's make our $10,000 allocation, but then look as we scroll down here at all of the different settings in this bot. Now, these are all settings that you, as the trader, as the person cloning this bot, you can come in and change anything about this bot that you want. Now, my recommendation and what I usually do is I clone it exactly as the developer wrote it, okay? and I don't change any of the settings. But after I clone the original bot and I run it for a little bit of time, and he explains again in his description here kind of what all these settings do, and he also explains it right here as well. So after this bot has run a little while, I may make a second clone of it in my account, and maybe I'll change some of these settings, and I'll be running the two side by side to see, does version 1 or version 2 of this bot work better in certain scenarios? I mean, am I better off turning on the high risk in a more volatile market or a less volatile market, as an example? Okay. I can also come in and change the wing width. So this particular iron condor is trading $10 wide wings. Maybe that's more risk than I want to take on. So I can change this to be, $2, $3, or whatever I want. Whatever I want that to be. So again, I just wanted to quickly show you that when you do clone a bot, some of these bots are way more complex. And if we come down and we look at the automation routines that are in this bot, I mean, we can see that these things are way, way more complex than the simple bot that I shared with you. But again, you don't need to know necessarily how to do all of this, because we can go out and clone bots. We can see what other people have done, how they've done it, make a clone, light it up in paper trading, see how it performs, make sure that we at least grasp what's taking place with it, and then once we're comfortable, turn that to a live bot. So that should kind of wrap up our overview of the anatomy of a bot, the cloning of bots. Again, the number one thing I want you to take away, go to community, go to Template Exchange, find 8 to 9 other bots, clone them, turn them on, let them start running in your account. Keep in mind that some of these bots won't necessarily open a trade. They're looking at certain market conditions. Like if one of these bots is looking for the market to be in an uptrend and the market is not in an uptrend right now, some of these bots might not open a position for days, weeks, or months until the right conditions are met. So again, make sure you look at the bot and you understand what the bot is supposed to do before you think it's going to open a position. The bot that I shared with you, the initial demo bot, that bot is specifically written to open and close a lot of positions, but there's not really much in the way of strategy behind it. So now that we've covered the whole bot aspect and cloning, there's a couple other quick things that I want to show to you. I want you to look at watch list. So watch list is, while it's not directly built into the bot process, it's a place on our site that you can come and take a look at the markets and the stocks that are out there and just kind of get a sense of what's happening generally in the markets, which stocks have the highest volatility right now. And we can click on any one of these and we can see all the details about a specific underlying position, which ones have earnings coming up, which ones are highest in their 52-week range, which bots have the most momentum going behind them right now. I can also build out my own personal list of tickers, and in my own personal list of tickers, I can come sort them. Maybe I just want to see the ones that have the highest volatility right now. Well, these are the ones that have the highest volatility, so I can kind of filter that. Maybe I want to see the ones that are highest or lowest in their 52-week range. I can filter off of that. I can slice and dice this so that I'm only looking at ETFs. I don't want to see stock. I just want to see ETFs. Or I can see them both. So again, watch list is a way to kind of get a quick overview of the market. If I want to look deeper at one of these, if I click on it, you'll see that I have a chart, basic chart here, some basic information about the activity taking place within that stock. But I can also come in, I can look at the technicals. Now, technicals, there's oscillators, which are a bunch of different formulas. Again, if you're not sure what any of these are, use your question mark, go up and look them up. But oscillators are going to be things like the relative strength index, stochastics, MACD, momentum. Many traders trade off of these. They build these settings into their bots. Many traders don't use those. So again, kind of a personal preference thing. This side evaluates the moving averages. Where is Apple in its moving average? And if you're a trend trader, the moving average on Apple, pretty much all these moving averages are saying that Apple's currently a sell, okay? The oscillators are kind of mixed. When you combine these two together, this is the summary of the market view of Apple right now. Now I can also come in and I can look at the news and I can see what all the latest news is. So this is all part of the bot platform, the watch list is. And there's a link in the email you got that will take you to a detailed video on watch list. Backtester, similar. Now Backtester is not included in the trial. Backtester is a premium product designed for our paying members. But there's a link again in the email that was sent to you that will take you into all of the detailed nuts and bolts of Backtester and how it works. And I can come in and look at all of the top backtests that other people have done out there to see what is testing well. So I can look at this particular methodology, this particular general trading concept of selling a 50 delta, I believe this is probably going to be selling a 50 delta put and buying your short delta there. This is how that particular general strategy has worked over time. Now, you can't backtest all of the different variables that we can potentially put into a bot because we can put hundreds and hundreds of decision points into bots. That amount of data just simply isn't available for backtesting. So backtesting is where you take a look at the big picture concept around a trading strategy. An iron condor with $5 wings that you sell every Friday, look at something like that. Then after you have the basic general concept behind your trading plan, you can put that into a bot and then you can go and build a whole bunch of additional filters and features, stop loss management, profit-taking management around that general concept. So the backtester is designed to give you sort of a big picture look at different trading methodologies or trading plans. And again, Backtester is a premium product that you'll have access to once you subscribe. As a paying member, you will not have it in the trial at this point. But the link in the email will take you to a much more detailed video about Backtester than what I've shared right here. And then the final thing I want you to take a look at, again, if you go click on that little question mark and you come specifically to this area, Bots 101 is a great place to get kind of the nuts and bolts of a bot, a little more detailed than what I explained today, but it'll just walk you through the concept of bots. Tutorials. These are recorded tutorials. How do you make a bot run on specific days of the week? Remember the one bot I just showed you, the weekly ETFs, the 10-day iron condors. I set that to run on a certain day of the week. Well, how do you do that? Well, here's a tutorial on specifically doing that. Workshops. Now, Kirk does workshops on a fairly regular basis where he builds a bot during the actual workshop. He did a couple recently. Here's one running 45 data expiration iron butterflies. Here's one running a 100 ticker strategy with reusable automations. So this is an hour-long video, but he walks you through step by step how to build a bot that will do this exact thing during that workshop. So again, workshops are fabulous, fabulous tools. Again, these are a whole bunch of the different templates. This is our template community. This is a slightly different look at the template community, I might add. So if you want to maybe not look at bots the way I showed you previously by most upvotes, most cloned, etc., you can come look by strategy. Well, maybe you just want to look at bots that have a bullish bias or a bullish strategy right now. Maybe you want to look at bots that just have a neutral strategy right now. So another way to maybe slice and dice the way that you look at bots. So at this point, I think that should pretty much wrap up our quick start. We've taken about an hour now. I very, very much appreciate your time. And again, hope that your journey in exploring the bots, that this helps you get through that journey a little bit faster and understand what the bots might bring to the table for you. And again, as previously mentioned, you can always reach to us, team@optionalpha.com, and our team's going to be available to you to help you answer any questions you might have. And if you have questions that are more generic or just trading general questions, concept questions, I urge you to take those to the community. We can't give trading advice, but a lot of our traders in the community can and do. So if your question is more about a certain style of trading or a certain concept around a certain type of trade, post it in the community. If you're wanting to build a bot that maybe does a certain type of trade, you have a certain strategy you'd like to put into a bot, share that in the community. I'm sure you'll get a lot of help there, and our team is also monitoring community and helps a lot in that space as well. So again, I thank you very, very much for your time. I hope this video, along with the email that was sent to you with the links, will be helpful. Take care.